Who better to get advice from than the writers who really made it? Hey guys, I'm Marilyn and welcome back to my channel. As you could tell from the title of this video, today we're going to be looking at great pieces of advice from famous authors. We're going to be looking at 9 pieces of advice to be exact. Before we dive into those great writing tips, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell if you want writing advice videos every Wednesday and book reviews some Fridays. Also, if you want to check out a standalone fantasy adventure for adults, you can find my book To Wear a Crown at all online retailers, link in the description box below. So now let's get to the great writing advice. First one is from Rachel Carson. If you write what you yourself sincerely think and feel and are interested in, you will interest other people. And I think that is writing advice that is kind of popular and goes around a lot, is write what you want to read. But I think this one, the way that this is phrased, means almost more. Means if you really write with your heart and you really write what speaks to you and what you're passionate about, there will be other people who are passionate about that as well and who enjoy that as well. Next up is from Isabel Allende. Show up, show up, show up. And after a while, the muse shows up too. This is such a lovely quote because I myself am guilty of this. I feel like I need to be in the exact right mindset and space to be able to write well. So I almost wait for that perfect time to write. But that doesn't come around a lot. So you're not going to get a book done if you only write when you're super inspired, when the muse is there. And so show up every day or whenever you write, just have some kind of habit or schedule. Keep showing up and the muse will eventually show up as well. The third great piece of advice is by Kurt Vonnegut. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that surname correctly. Don't crucify me. He says, write to please just one person. If you open a window and make love to the world, so to speak, your story will get pneumonia. I love this man. His writing advice is always written in such a humorous way, such a witty way, which I absolutely love. So once again, envision a perfect reader, an ideal reader, the person you're writing this for, and write for that person, because that person represents a group of people. They're not alone, and so you will have an audience of more than one, but it's a lot easier to try to write to please one person than it is to try to please the whole world. Then H.P. Lovecraft said, a page of Addison or of Irving will teach you more of style than a whole manual of rules, whilst the story of Poe's will impress upon the mind a more vivid notion of powerful and correct description and narration than will 10 dry chapters of a bulky textbook. So essentially, read. The best way to improve your writing is to read. Yes, read books in your genre, but read widely, because you will pick up on what other authors are doing well, and that's some of the best learning you can get. Number 5 might be one of my favorites, and that's by Margaret Atwood, and that is do back exercises. Pain is distracting. So yes, as someone who does have fibromyalgia and mild scoliosis, back pain is a thing and it is distracting, so there you go, do back exercises. Helen Dunmore said, a problem with a piece of writing often clarifies itself if you go for a long walk. Now, yes, you can take this literally, which it does work literally. If you are stuck at a point and you don't know what to do and there's kind of a plot hole and you don't know how to figure it out or something's not working, literally going for a long walk will usually help you figure it out. But it doesn't have to be a walk. It's just something completely different, stepping away from the manuscript, doing something else, and then usually when you're not focusing on it, the solution will come to you. Samuel Delany said, talented writing makes things happen in the reader's mind, vividly, forcefully, that good writing, which stops with clarity and logic, doesn't. So that's kind of to say that there is a unique spark inside writers To be able to convey emotion, to be able to put your imagination on a page in a way that it translates into the imagination of the reader. There's an extra magic spark that you just can't really define. And yes, you can be a good writer. It's, your writing is clear, it's logical, it makes sense, everyone understands what you're saying. But that's not the same as being a talented writer and being able to make something happen in the reader's mind. The penultimate piece of advice for this video is from Susan Sontag. To make your life being a writer, it's an auto-slavery. You are both the slave and the taskmaster. That is very true, because you will be working for yourself. Even if you are traditionally published, you will know which stories you want to write. For me, at least as a self-published author, I set my own deadlines. I decide when the next book is gonna come out. And so you are the one driving the writing process. You're the one telling yourself to sit down and write, but you're also the one who has to do it. So you are the slave and the slave master at the same time. Then the final piece of advice is by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. Also don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. If you're going to be a writer, you have to be one of the great ones. After all, there are better ways to starve to death. And that might seem a bit morbid, but I like the way he put it. And that is essentially that, as I said in my Harsh Truth video, it's really difficult to make a living out of just being a writer. You often have to have a lot of other streams of income. Those people who make a living off just writing are the great ones, the exception. And you can definitely strive to be that. I suggest that you do. I certainly do. But there are better ways to starve to death than writing. So don't rely on that too much. So yeah, those are 9 pieces of writing advice from famous authors. I think that these are great tips, great things to keep in mind. If you have heard great writing advice before, please leave it in the comments below. Help your fellow writers out, share what you have learned. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Remember to hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell so you don't miss any videos. If you want to check out a great fantasy adventure novel, you can buy To Wear a Crown at any online retailer, links in the description box below. As always, you can find me on my website, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, and BookBub. All the links are listed below, and then I will see you guys in next week's video. Bye!